Hey, I'm Mr. Thrasher. I teach physics, or physics of the universe. You might see physics in the universe. That's actually the official name of the course all the way up to the state level, but I think that's kind of a silly name because where else would the physics be but in the universe? But anyway, this is the physics class, and I'm here to talk to you about some important information that you should know for the class as we progress through the school year, especially since things are a little different with this weird at-a-learning environment. Okay, a little bit about me. I've been teaching here at San Mateo for the last 8 years. I've been a physics teacher that entire time. I'll let you pause if you care to read some of these fun facts. Maybe I'll just say right here, I studied astronomy in school, and while I love the subject, I love learning about it, when I was studying, I realized that all the PhDs, all the professors, all the grad students, well, they're just sitting in front of a computer all day, and that just didn't seem fun to me, and that's why the idea of teaching was really appealing. Of course, it's ironic that now I'm sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours teaching classes. So until that's over, oh well, we'll just have to deal with it. For this class, physics, what are we going to learn? The class is built around fundamental questions, 6 of them actually. All right, and these are questions that we study for about 6 weeks, learning the science and mostly learning the physics that's behind all of them. Right now, we're in this first question. Why don't school buses have seatbelts? And this is not a simple one answer kind of question. And even though, maybe a kid could find the discussion on YouTube or find an article online, we want to go deeper. Our students, our kids are essentially going to be experts at the physics behind cars, car crashes, seatbelts, so they could explain reasonably, or at least have an argument, why there's not as much of an emphasis with school buses having seatbelts. Our next unit is asking about the similarities between black holes and electrons. One of my favorite units is how does a wireless charger power your phone? And this isn't like a one-day how do wireless chargers work. We're going all the way to the beginning. How do we create electricity using power plants? How does that electricity get to our homes? All right, how does the wireless charger actually function on the inside? There's a lot of electromagnetism involved, a lot of induction, and a lot of how do we as a society generate power. Then we're looking at how dinosaurs, bananas, and Einstein are actually quite related to one another. Another favorite unit of mine, how do we take, how do we store, how do we send like a Snapchat or an Instagram story? And then how are we related to stardust? I will say with this online learning, it's possible we won't get as far as we normally do because class time is cut. I'm not necessarily against that with this environment, but just know we may not cover all these things. A typical online class, we always have a warm-up. Okay, usually we'll spend a little time reviewing either a past homework assignment that might be due for the day or the past class's material as kind of a refresher. We're learning new stuff in class, of course, and we'll be practicing what we're learning. I do like using breakout rooms. I do like having quick check-ins with multiple choice. These aren't graded on accuracy, just are you participating? Are you trying? I like to get people's opinion. I also use the Zoom chat function a bit. Also, of course, raising hands, asking for volunteers, all that stuff that we'd normally see in a classroom, but we have to tweak it for online. And we also end the class with exit tickets. Grades, what kids and arguably probably what parents and guardians care most about. 15% is attendance and participation. I'll talk about that briefly. Also, I'll mention briefly assignments. That's also 15%. Oops, I forgot my colon. What am I doing, Thrasher? And then what I want to spend more time on is this, because 70%, the majority of the class, is based on something called objectives. So for attendance and participation, they're linked in together. Okay, we should be following our guidelines for online learning, and certainly the district guidelines and the school guidelines. For attendance, students need to be logged in within the first 10 minutes. Okay, we know that there are technical problems, internet issues, but after 10 minutes, that's when a student is technically tardy to class. Now, whatever the rules are, what I really want to emphasize here is if there's an issue, let me know. And some students are already doing a great job. I'm likely to mark them down, and therefore they'll lose points if they were late or if they just never showed up, and then they never talked to me about it. They never sent me an email. If there's an issue, I get it. That happens. There's going to be issues with us too. But send an email. Say, hey, Mr. Thrasher, my internet went down. That's why I missed the first half. And I'll probably just let it go. Still give them full points or give them a way to make it up. Okay, where I give them points for attendance and participation, it's a little weird. I do that in something called the notes. If you go on Canvas, you'll see that every day of class, there's something called notes, and it has the date. Part of that is them actually typing notes. That's part of their participation. But it's also where I'm giving them a score for their attendance. Okay, so you might see these peppered throughout the grade book. That's where their attendance and participation grades are coming from. All right. Assignments, also 15%. Pretty much anything they're submitting, you know, whether we're doing it in class and or it becomes homework due the next day. This includes labs, kind of classic worksheets, if you will. They're always out of 4 points. They're always based on effort and completion. Did you try everything? Did you show all your work? If you got all of them wrong, well, that's not ideal, but that's not going to cost you points as long as you're trying. Okay, it's out of those 4 points, and if you do it late, as long as you complete everything, you can still earn up to 3 out of 4 points. So if you go to your son or daughter's, your student's Canvas page, and you see in the grade book that they have 0 out of 4, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, for any assignment, they can make it up and still earn up to a score of 3 out of 4 points. There's no reason kids shouldn't get at least up to 3 out of 4, even if they're turning it in after the official deadline. Okay? My apologies, I wanted to do a little video magic because I realized it was cutting off this bottom part. Here's just an example of what an assignment might look like. Acceleration and analysis activity. Okay, and again, it's always out of 4 points. And all this stuff where I post assignments and everything is in the module section. Sorry if you saw graphics flipping around. Okay, again, these assignments are out of 15%. The majority of the class, 70%, is based on what I call objectives. This is like the content, the meat, the science stuff, the physics stuff of the class. Here are some example objectives. Okay, MOT.1. This is about motion, distance, time, and speed. We obviously learn about motion, and there'll be a quiz where I'm asking a question about velocity, maybe about speed or acceleration. They take these quizzes. They took one last Thursday, and they get a score. And the score is always out of 4 points. They either get a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1. 4 is perfect, 3 is pretty good, 2 is okay, 1 is, lacking. They only get a 0 if they leave something blank, so there's no real reason to leave something 0. Even giving some attempt at a science answer will pretty much always give them a score of a 1. Okay, I will say, if you're concerned because you're looking at their grades right now and their grade is like a D or a C, that's unfortunately because it's the beginning of the year. They've only had one quiz so far. So that one quiz is dragging their grade down 70%. That's in no way going to mean they're going to get a D for the semester. We're taking more objectives, around 20 to 30 over the course of the semester, and they can retry these objectives, which I'm about to talk about. Okay, so please don't worry if their grade is low right now. They have the opportunity to raise it. And they have that opportunity to raise it because these objectives are tested multiple times. They can come in and try, and I will give them quizzes. And it's always the most recent score that shows up in the grade book. It's not the average. It's not like the highest score. It's always the most recent. So if they have a low score right now, and they come in and try again, and they get a perfect score of 4, I delete the old score and I put in the new score. There's no reason why a student wouldn't get full points for all the objectives as long as they're willing to retest, they sign up, and then they retry the objective. So here's an example. Here are some objectives. I only have the objectives in one time. You won't see like ELE1 7 times. It's just once. And this student got a 3. If they tried again and they got a 4, bam, I delete the 3 and I put in a 4. So as long as they're as long as they're willing to retry, they can still get full points regardless of how they do the first time around. Okay? That's a key thing I want to say. So, oh man, I want to finish in the next minute. Class resources. Hey, this is where we have all the information. Links for students. All right, this is just a tool I use during class. Here is for tutorial time or office hour time. I also have something called class resources or request to reassess. This is if they want to retake a quiz. If it's not linked here, you probably want to go to class resources, and here's where you and students can find the syllabus, those objectives I was talking about, and here are just some tools for kids to use. I also have all the rubrics. This is how I grade everything. Okay, so you are free to look over the rubrics. Your students are free to look it over. Nothing is a mystery to me, or for my kids. They should be able to find out exactly how I'm going to grade them. If you haven't done this yet, you can create a Canvas Observer account so that you can view my Canvas page, and you can access almost all the things that your son or daughter, your student, can access. Okay, you could pause this video if you need to. You can go to this website, or you could snap this this code and you can sign up, and then you can access my class. Last thing, oh my gosh, I'm over 10 minutes. I'm sorry. All right, to email me or to contact me, for students and frankly for you, email is the best way. You can message me in Canvas, or you can send me a Gmail. They both go to my Gmail account anyway. Okay, so either one. All right, and students have access to my office hours from 2:45 to 3:15 on Tuesdays and Fridays. Again, for parents and guardians, it's the same thing. You can email me at pthrasher@smuhsd.org. I'm pretty good at replying to emails within a day. Or if you're within Canvas, you can send me a message through Canvas. It goes to my Gmail account. So either way, it's going to the same spot. Okay, thank you for listening. Sorry I went a little bit over. If you have questions, feel free to message me. Have a great rest of your evening whenever you're watching this, and take care.